Hi everyone, welcome to my first ever Empties video. If you've been around YouTube for a while, you kind of know what to expect. I'm going to be going through a bunch of products that I have used up and giving you just tiny little mini reviews on each one or the group of items and show you the items that I would or have repurchased. Now, if you have never seen an Empties video like this before, then I hope that you will find this interesting and helpful. Now, unlike most other Empties videos that I've personally seen here on YouTube, everything here I'm sharing with you today is makeup or makeup related products. So there's no cleansers, no face lotions, no hair products, no hairspray, anything like that. Those are products that for me personally are not usually difficult to use up. But as far as makeup goes, because I do have a huge collection of makeup and I love changing up and trying new things all the time, it is more difficult for me to stick to one product and use it up to the bitter end. So today we're talking solely about makeup, and I do have a ton of products here, so we better get started. Now, if you saw my Just Use It Up January videos, you will probably recognize many of these products. I compiled a huge box of products that I was really going to attempt to use up. So this is kind of an update on that as well. So starting off with primers. For face primers, I had a plethora of these Smashbox face primer sample packets. I used up 2. I also used up this deluxe sample, and I had a whole nother pile which I have now given to friends. So I do like this primer. It's just a basic kind of silicone based primer. I still have I think 2 more tubes of this, so I don't feel like I will ever need to repurchase it, but it is a good basic smoothing primer. Continuing on with face products, I pretty much used up, this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. This is one that was really compared to Shape Tape Concealer, and I would say it was pretty close. This was too drying under the eyes, but I did like it for touching up around the face. Speaking of Shape Tape, I pretty much use this as scraping on the edge. This was my first ever Shape Tape concealer purchase, and while it is a really good full coverage concealer for the face, I personally do find it too drying under the eyes. So not one I'm going to repurchase for under the eyes, but these are both good concealers for areas on the face. Another one is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. You can see I am way down here to the bottom, and I think this was NC20, and then I also had this one, which it's down to about here, but I'm also getting rid of this one. This one has deepened, so it tells me it's time to go. But this is the Pro Longwear Concealer, and again, as I've gotten older, this no longer really works for me under the eyes, but if you want a budge-proof concealer for your face, this is definitely one. For foundations, I finished the Smashbox Liquid Halo foundation. They don't make this anymore, but I actually have a backup of this exact shade. This is number 3. I have used up, I think, 3 bottles of this. I really enjoyed it. It's the sheerest formula, but it stays put all day. So I did use this one up, but I've got a backup that I'm working through, and that will be it because they don't make it anymore. And then the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, this is down to about right here. But one that I do like, but just kind of after using it on a regular basis again, have found several others that I prefer over that. Now, the L'Oreal Lumi Cushion Foundation. So this one, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you, I flipped this cushion so many times to scrape out the rest of this foundation. I loved this. Not available anymore, of course, but this was a great foundation. For face powders, I have 3 that I used up. First was just the original BareMinerals Mineral Veil, and I have actually already repurchased this, and so this is one that I will always try to have. I love this not only with the BareMinerals foundation, but it is a great touch-up powder throughout the day. I used up the Becca Hydra Mist powder. I have repurchased this again. I think this was actually the second one that I used up. And again, I do like this with my foundation to set it, but my favorite way to use this is as a touch-up powder midway through the day. It just cancels out your pores, and even though it has a wet feeling when it goes on your skin, thus the name Hydro Mist, it does a great job of keeping my face oil-free the rest of the day. So this powder is a must for me during the hot summer months. And the last powder that I used up, I genuinely thought I would never ever finish, but this was the Too Faced Perfect Peach Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. And I am telling you, you get so much product in here, 0.35 grams, 1.23 ounces. And it's so finely milled that you really don't use that much product each time. I have repurchased it. This is one of my top favorite setting powders. And one more foundation primer that I neglected to see here is the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. So you can use this just by itself as your moisturizer, and sometimes I do that in the summer months when I'm a little more oily, but this is just a really great primer. You can use it in conjunction with your moisturizer if you're more of a dry skin type, but it really does just have a smoothing effect on your skin, kind of helps over time, I think, minimize your pores, and it doesn't make me extra oily. It's just a really unique product. And of course, let's see, does this still smell? It smells like coconut. So I scraped out this entire tube, cut it in half, and I have repurchased, so another big favorite of mine. Now, before moving on to eyes, I have one more face product, even though you would use this at the end of your beauty routine. I'll throw it in here with the rest of the face products, and it is the Morphe Setting Spray. I am not a huge setting spray proponent nor a user of them, but this is one setting spray that I actually feel like works. And it's the most unique setting spray that I'm aware of because it is an aerosol type sprayer and it is the finest mist out there. This is one that if I get done with my makeup and it just is kind of looking a little uneven, or my skin just looks powdery, but I don't want to add a dewy setting mist, if I put this on, it just makes everything melt together, and I do feel like this actually helps my makeup last better throughout the day. I don't use it every day, but if I want a setting spray, this is the one that I will grab. Moving on to eyes, I have 3 eyelid primers that I used up. One is the Lorac Behind the Scenes primer. This isn't one that I would actually buy, but I have another of this size. This is the deluxe sample size. It's a good one, but I find I like it in conjunction with something else just to give it a little more grip power. And that something else that I usually paired it with was the BareMinerals 5-in-1 eyeshadow. I don't even know what this is called. BB Advanced Eyeshadow Cream. And this is one that they've put on clearance. I don't think they even make this, but I finished out this little tiny sample, and I still have a little bit more in a second one that I'm working on as well still. But finished this little guy. There was so much product. This lasted so long. Shocking. But I did love how it provided a little bit of coverage on the eyelid. And the last primer I used up is the Milani eyeshadow primer, and I have already repurchased this. This, in my opinion, is one of the best from the drugstore. The only other one that I like about equally as well is from NYX, and it's the Proof It eyeshadow primer. On to mascara primers. If you saw my mascara primer video, you will kind of understand why I have so many different brands, but I was testing lots and have used several of. So this is the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. I have 2 of the L'Oreal Voluminous Primers. I have one of the Origins Underwear for Lashes and one of the Lancome Sills Booster XL. So I'll link my mascara primer video down below, so you'll get all of the information on which ones are my favorites. But definitely will continue to always have these two in my collection. This is the Origins Underwear for Lashes and the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. So for mascaras, I have this one, which does have a primer on one end, but this is the L'Oreal Double Extend. This is a tubing mascara, and I use this only on my lower lashes and have already repurchased. I love this. It is one of 2 mascaras that will not smudge or flake on me on the lower lashes, and that is saying a lot. The other tubing mascara I used up, this is a deluxe size of the Thrive Cosmetics mascara. What is this called? Liquid Lash Extensions mascara. And I have purchased the full size and have almost used that one up as well. So this is definitely one that I love. And then I have 3 regular mascaras from, surprise, surprise, my favorite mascara brand. So this is the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I have 1 travel size that I used up and 2 full size, always one that I will have in my collection. Moving on to eyebrows, I have 2 of the NYX Precision Brow Pencils that I used up, and let's see, I think I have 1 in taupe and 1 in ash brown. Ash brown's just a little deep for me, but I can make it work. But this is one I have continued to repurchase and will always, at least at this point, have in my collection. And then I have the Benefit Gimme Brow, I should say, it's not Give Me, Gimme Brow. This is a tinted fiber brow gel, and maybe just because the color was a little off for me, but this isn't my favorite because I just still feel like I need to go in with a pencil. It's rare that I'm going to just use a brow gel. So this is pretty good, but a little on the pricey side. So not one that I plan to repurchase. And then as far as eyeliners go, this is one from Urban Decay. This was the color Stag, and I can no longer sharpen it. It is used all the way to the end. This I tried with pliers and everything to get it to sharpen, but it's done. I also used up the dark brown end of this Milani double-ended pencil, and the dark brown was definitely my favorite shade of the 2. This one's pretty too. It's a kind of a coppery gold shade, so still working on that end, but did use up the dark brown end. And then I have a couple of other pencils that are so close to the end. This one's from Makeup Forever. It's just a black one. And then I have 2 from Urban Decay. This is Corrupt, and then I have Whiskey, which is real close, and Rockstar, which is getting there. But I find with the Urban Decay pencils, more so than other brands, you just don't seem to use much of the product each time you use it. It's kind of weird. Even though it's soft, it's not so soft that you're just burning right through that pencil. So makes them a little harder to use up, but that's a good thing, right? Now onto lip products. So let's see, let's start with the Empties. I've got a couple of lip liners. This was Estee Lauder's Edit, from the Edit, and it was the Barest Contour Lip Liner in the Buff. This was a really pretty color. I don't think they make this anymore, but used that up. I used up this Kokie lip liner, and let me get the shade name, Dusty Rose. I really started loving this lip liner. Isn't that what happens? And then you use it up and go, oh man, gotta repurchase. I haven't repurchased yet, but I would repurchase it. The only thing I don't like is it smells like plastic. So it's kind of one of those like, ugh, putting plastic on your lips. But that aside, the price is right, and I loved the color. Now I had a couple of deluxe size lip glosses I was working through. This is the Urban Decay lip gloss in Naked, I believe. And this is a really nice gloss. It really doesn't have a whole lot of color on the lips, but it has a nice peppermint scent and just a hint of a little bit of a tingle. It's not like the Buxom Lip Plumpers, you know, or anything like that, but nice gloss, decent amount of moisture, but probably won't repurchase and in the big size. I also used up the Dior Lip Maximizer, and this is similar in the fact that it has a hint of peppermint in it and a little bit of kind of that refreshing feel on the lips, but these are super expensive. Not this size, obviously, this is the travel size, but I actually found a dupe, a cheaper dupe of it that I'll be sharing in an upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. But this was nice. It made my lips feel very moisturized, and it actually took quite a long time to use this up. So you didn't need a lot of product, but again, for the price tag and for kind of a clear gloss, I found something better. I used up a Buxom Deluxe size of one of their lip polishes, and I cannot read the name on the bottom of here. This came in a kit of several. It's kind of a shimmery gold shade, but I love Buxom glosses, and one of my favorite things to put on actually as I'm getting ready. So used that one up, and definitely have repurchased many times over various colors. And then I used up my deluxe sample size of the Huda Lip Strobe in Angelic, and I have purchased the full size of this. I absolutely love this gloss. So this is a beautiful kind of golden pink shade. If you've been around my channel, you've probably seen me use this a few times. Now for liquid matte lipsticks. I have a couple from BareMinerals that I have pretty much used up, just scraping the edge. This is the shade Slay. And then I also had used up Boss. These were my two favorite shades. Now, I'll tell more about this in another video, but for a while I was doing Invisalign type of braces. So those are the clear aligners that you put in your mouth to straighten your teeth. I'll share about that in another video. But because of that, the only lip product you can really use that won't get all over them is a matte liquid lipstick. So because that was the only type of lip product I could use for a while, I really am done with matte liquid lipsticks. So not only did I finish up these, but I've got a couple others that were close, but I'm getting rid of. This is the shade Infamous and the shade Icon. So if you like matte liquid lipsticks that stay pretty well but don't dry your lips out like crazy, the BareMinerals ones are definitely ones to check out. But because I just am over matte liquid lipsticks, I don't plan to repurchase. And then this little guy, almost to the very end, but this is the Hourglass, one of their lipsticks. I don't even know what it's called. And this is the shade Influencer. And this was nice, but honestly, I think the Neutrogena ones are much better and lots less expensive. And then one final lip product that I have fully used up, and that is this Lano Lips. There we go, you can kind of see it. Lano Lips, I don't know if you've ever tried these, but they do come in several different scents. This is the strawberry one, and it says it's 101 ointment multi-balm. So you can use this not only on your lips, but also on dry patches on your hands, elbows, all that stuff. I pretty much just use it on my lips, but I do like this. I think it's a really good product, and I have repurchased it in the scent of coconut, of course. Now I have 3 more lip products that I just have kind of given up on using. Like, I feel like I used up enough of them. This is the Lorac Pro, and this is the matte lip color in Pink Taupe. And I think this is a great product. I got about up to there. And these do have a nice vanilla scent, but kind of as I explained, I'm kind of getting away from matte lip colors as much. So this is a really great product, but not really planning on repurchasing at this point. But if you are looking for a good matte lipstick that's not as drying as a liquid lipstick, you might check these out. And then this I have almost used up, but again have kind of given up on. This is the Bite lipstick. It's a pencil stick in the shade Madeira. I don't know if they make these anymore, but they were really good. Good and moisturizing, good amount of gloss. This one kind of started smelling a little off, so kind of gave up on that. And then I had, I think, 4 or 5 of the ColourPop Lippy Sticks in that Just Used It Up January that I was trying to use up or figure out if I wanted to use. And this one I probably got the closest. This is the shade Cookie, but again, just kind of felt like I was ready to pass on the rest of those. And then to round out this video, I just want to show you a couple of the products that were in that Just Used It Up January that I'm still working on and getting close. So you'll probably see these hopefully in another Empties video, maybe at the end of the year. But they are 5 lip liners from NYX. A couple of these, I mean, really are a few uses away from being retired. So, but these are all colors that I have repurchased. So just needing to finish those guys up. I have these Becca liquid highlighters that I'm making good progress on, but these are ones that I have enjoyed using more on my fairer skin, but getting close to the end on those. Don't really plan at this point on repurchasing those. They are a good product, but there have been several other less expensive products that have come out that I actually like more. And then 2 face products, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I've hit pan on this one. This is in the bronzer shade. And so what I'm using this one for is actually if I need to bronze up my neck, and then I have repurchased a new one of these that I'm using on my face. And my beloved The Balm Mary Luminizer. You can see I've hit a really good size pan on this, and I continue to use it. As you get closer to the pan, this becomes much softer, so it's not one that I can travel with anymore, but I do still go back to this often, and I have repurchased a full size of this again. As for eyeshadow palettes, now in that video I shared with you several palettes that were nearing what I felt like their expiration date and ones that I wanted to use as much as possible during that month. So 3 of those palettes were these. Starting off with the Tartelette palette. This was the first one that they ever did, and I did hit good pan on this one. And several of these other shades I have really gotten deep into, but throughout that month I did try to use it a lot, but I put one of these washi tape stickers on the back of it, and I didn't use it enough to peel that off. So it's time to send this on its way. Now, if you saw one of my Get Ready With Me videos in January, you will have seen these palettes. These are the Lorac Pro palette. This is the first one and the second one. The first one, I used this one nearly every day, and I did hit pan finally on the shade. And then, let's see, a few other shades got pretty close deep in there, but again, I've had this palette for so long that I know it is now time to pass it on. But this is a great basic palette if you are just starting out and you want a good palette of mattes and shimmers and a little more on the cooler end of the spectrum. I think you would really enjoy this palette. And then the Lorac Pro 2 palette, which I was shocked, and you will be shocked too to see that I used even more of this palette, even though it's got some interesting colors in here. This one I did hit really good size pan. I almost finished that shadow. This one, I mean, real close to the pan there. And then what were my other favorite shades? Rosé or Rose right here. Such a beautiful shade, and the deep colors really good. But again, time to retire this palette. And then there were several other palettes in my Just Use It Up January that I did not end up rescuing from being donated. So these are palettes that I have not used a ton of, but I just throughout that month did not reach for them hardly at all. And this was one from Morphe. This is the 9C palette. Beautiful shades, but colors that I have in other palettes that I reach for more. So if you saw my trick in there, I put this piece of washi tape on the back of several palettes, and if I did not reach for that palette all month and went back through and saw that washi tape still on there, I knew it was time to pass this on. So I have this palette and several others that I'm passing on to friends and family. All right, guys, so that wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope it maybe inspired you to start trying to use up some of your makeup products as well. Thank you as always so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.